A bit of a different one today. Up by Matthewson's Car Auctions, famous for bangers and cash, Thornton Liddale. Heading to Dalby Bike Barn over here to test ride the 2026 Amflow. So the PL, it's got upgraded, well, the 2026 Fox 36, which is meant to be a bit stiffer, and yeah, new transmission. Interesting to see what it's like. So here we are, the 2026 Amflow that I've just hired for a couple of hours. It's the new Fox 36 2026 versions with the slightly stiffer stanchions, 15 or 20% more apparently, and the new SRAM transmission at the back, T-type. There we go. So I think you can convert this to wireless fairly easily from this position. Initial impressions are, it feels good. Seat is not quite in the right place for me, so I might move that back. I've strapped my bits and pieces on there later, but I think this is about 22 in this spec and this size, whereas my Kenevo is 25, so 3 kilos. Feels shorter than the actual reach measurement, I have to say, but maybe that's just the seat. Anyway, I'll crack on and get on some proper trails and test it there. So here we go, guys, on the actual bike. Obviously it's just a fire road. I'm just trying to get the start of some off-piste at Dalby that I'm hoping to test this on, rather than just normal trail reds, because that's more like I would ride, sort of enduro off-piste type things. So I don't know if you can see much on the display, but I'm in Eco, Cadence 60, knock it up to trail, instant boost, turbo, so you can feel the kick, but this one's limited, so I'm hitting the limiter there, so maybe I'll stop and see what it's like pulling away. What gear am I in first? There we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 12 speed, obviously. I'm quickly doing it from the back. So 10th gear, pull away in turbo, fast as I can, and then hit the limiter. Fast as I can. And it's just settled at the limit now. And if I hold this button down, I can do the boost thing. But again, it's pointless at this. Let's try it from this. It's fast. It's not like, so I've got a specialised Kenevo. So the boost is on for a minute. Let's try. It's definitely quick, but it's not like if you've been on an e-bike and used e-bikes before in turbo mode. It's not that crazy. These are all just my initial impressions. Never rode an Amflow before, but yeah, it just doesn't seem crazy in turbo. But what I'm going to do is probably just stick it in this auto mode. That's what the shop recommends. Wasn't counting on mud, that's no good. There's the words I'm trying to get to, I think. Yeah, auto. So basically that gives you more power if you need it, I think. Well, I'll turn it off till I get on a proper trail and see what it's like. Cheers. Right, first probably a little blast on it into this trail, off-piste one. Won't be fast, obviously first ever ride on it. But yeah, initial impressions are definitely lighter than my Kenevo. That's all I can judge it on really, and the other Kenevo e-bikes that I've had. Seat position's annoying, I can't be bothered wasting my time. I've only got 2 hours for messing it around, so I'll leave that alone. So yeah, let's get the seat right down, see how it feels through here. Never rode Magura bikes before. Feel okay so far. They're certainly not instant, front one anyway. They don't come on harder as you pull it further in, like my other ones. Oh yeah, I remember this. Done this one before, or maybe I didn't. Maybe we went round the side of that one. It certainly looks cut away more than last time I was doing it. Maybe it's a different one. Take the chicken route on a new bike. New pedals as well. Seems to handle the roots well. Very strange riding a different bike, as everyone can appreciate. I need way longer than 2 hours to give an informed opinion. This is more just initial impressions, and it certainly doesn't feel flexy like some of the early reviews tried to brand it. It feels stiff. Maybe that's with these new 36s, I don't know. Just really trying to feel where the balance is and the centre of it is. Definitely doesn't feel like I think I'm sure it's 500 reach this one. Feels shorter than my Kenevo, I think. That's an S4, which I think is 490 standard, but I've got it bulleted, so I think the reach is even a bit shorter than that. That must have been this normal drop thing we do. I've only been here once and done it twice. I don't remember it being quite as eroded as that. Yeah, initial impressions good. Not blown away, I have to say. Coming from a 180 front and back Kenevo, which can do it all. So that's about 25 kilos. I've actually brought my digital scale, so I'm going to try and find a tree to hang this off and see if I can weigh this. Yeah, let's go back up. Just turn the video on again so you can hear the motor noise. Let's try eco. Gonna have to go up a few gears because going back on the power. Right, drop the seat down so you can try and hear a bit better. It's the motor. It's in eco. Certainly not obnoxiously loud. Certainly hear it though. Trail. Sounds like a washing machine in the high pitch. That's cadence of 100. I don't know if you can see that on the screen. I'll drop my cadence to sort of 70, 80. Turbo. It does sound like a washing machine. That's my instinct anyway. It sounds a bit like a washing machine. Right, hold down, boost. Spin cycle on your washing machine. I know people are going to hate that comment, but just giving you, that's exactly what I thought straight away. I'm not saying my Kenevo's quiet at all, but it's like a higher pitch. Got some gears. Interesting. So it says I'm down to 83% battery. So I've used 17% and haven't done a great deal, I have to say, so far. Which is a little bit strange. And it's not like I've been doing boost a lot. I had it in auto for a bit. I'd have to work out what auto does a bit, because I'm doing cadence of 68, 70. Let's put the seat back up. Feels like it's giving me a bit of assistance. It's not like a major amount. Anyway, I'll turn it off till I get to a different trail. I'm not going to do that one again. See if I can find something a bit rockier, with some rock gardens or something, see how it goes on that. Cheers. Right, I'm going off-piste, off-piste. I'm kind of bearing to take me this way. I have no idea what this trail is. Hopefully it's not death. Open the rebound up at the front a bit. Definitely feels better. Quite limited on the adjustments, obviously, on these rhythm ones. Wow. I was lucky to get away with that. That rear tyre is full and I cannot do much about that. Zero braking. Wow. Take that as a warning, eh? So much for dusty trails. Nice dry and dusty ones. Right, gonna leave it in auto mode, see what happens up this hill. So for reference, I'm in 4th. This is a pretty steep hill, probably tells me, doesn't it? Gradient 12, 14%, 15%. It knows what gear you're in, that's so clever, even though it's manual. How does it know that? Gear 5, 6, very clever. Right, turn it off till I get another down, eh? But yeah, rebound certainly helped, opening that up. Cheers. Here you go, folks. My modern art piece on a nice strong root. So hopefully you can see that. This is with obviously a bit of mud on it, despite it saying it was dusty. Yeah, so in extra large, 22.41 kilos. That's with the same, obviously all these, this might not be super accurate, so one I use at home. With the one my Kenevo at home is 25, so there's 3 kilos, maybe slightly less than 3 kilos difference. And I have to say, honestly, in the XL, it doesn't ride like it's that much lighter. So I was thinking it was going to be really playful. Yeah, interesting. 22.4 kilos is not actually, to me, as an average rider, doesn't seem that crazily different. Anyway, let's keep riding. Right, I'm now in the standard reds. Done about an hour off-piste. I've only done 2 tracks really, just trying to find my way around, or 3 tracks. So let's have a play in here, see what it's like. Put it in trail mode. Oh, there's a rock garden there. Let's go back and have a roll through that rather than jump in it. Yeah. The initial impression is it's certainly not flexy. It's certainly not an XL with these new forks anyway. Doesn't feel that less capable than mine. I have probably used 80% of the travel on, so 160 front, 150 back. Let's just roll through this, see how it feels. Front feels nice. Back sounded a little bit hard. Just roll these, pop there. Up. Ah, yes, the Dalby ups. Have a slight bit of fun, and then you end up with another up. That's sticking in turbo, eh? Certainly, let me just stop at the top of this in a second. Because on the XL, let's have another quick rant on the XL. Look, the dropper post is really slammed, brilliant. The height is massive. I can't remember what size this is, but that's actually too high for me. I'm having to drop it slightly. Even though I'm 6'2", 188 centimeters, it's just slightly too high when pedaling. Maybe if I move it back. And the other thing I forgot to mention when I was on the weight, this is totally stock. This is still the trail tires. So we've got the Assegai on the front, XO 3C Max Terra, and Dissector on the back. But yeah, that rear tyre was shocking in a slight bit of mud back there. Thankfully I held it, managed to get out of it. But yeah, turn it off because no one wants to see these up. I think this might be the chunky bit. Yes, this will be good. Good test. Seats all the way down. Go right foot chunk. Foot bounced off the pedal. Right, there's some nice berms down here. Sound rattly, didn't it, at the front? Let's knock the rebound back one on the front, see what that does. Right, back on the flat bit for a bit. Can't remember how long this bit of Dalby goes. So just coming up that hill, yeah, turbo is definitely quick, but obviously it's only quick to the limiter unless you live in New Zealand and you're lucky. Then you've obviously got assistance as long as you want. So yeah, it's great, and if you're doing a long grind up a hill at that sort of pace, you will definitely notice the difference. But to be honest, as I say, I usually run mine in 44% assistance of a specialised Kenevo motor, which is the same as a Levo. So I think it has 80 or 90 Newton meters. Can't remember the watts. So yeah, it's not that big a selling point. I was more interested in the weight difference, but with these crappy tyres on, I'd always run a gravity in the rear. I don't run inserts. So I put a gravity kind of tyre on the back. So I've got Magic Mary gravities on the back of my Kenevo, not the radials. And then at least an Enduro case, and I've got a Mazda, Victoria Mazda on the front. So that would take this up to over 23, and then we're only talking 2 kilos difference between this. Obviously it's got the 800 battery, non-swappable, compared to my Kenevo, which has got the 700, and then I've actually got a spare 500 which I can swap over in under a minute. Turn upside down and dropping the bolts, undoing a bolt and dropping the battery. Now let's stop here because I'm missing this actual bit of down. It looks fun. But yeah, whereas something like the Uno Myth in this sort of size would be 22 kilos with gravity tyres in S3 size, I believe, because the S2 is 21.6 or 7. All right? Yeah, good. So that's a kilo less than this. Would I notice the difference on that? It's interesting. But this certainly doesn't feel flexy on. Obviously, I can only give a very quick overview. Hi. Very quick. Done an hour on it. Messed with the settings a little bit. But yeah, if I didn't have an e-bike, I'd definitely go for this. £6,000 in the UK. Better value than all the other ones around for that price, I would suggest. It certainly feels capable. But I don't think I'd swap from a Kenevo for this one. So yeah, let's keep going, see where we get to. Right, I think this is a bit of down, a bit more fun. Oh, the limiter, so annoying. Like even on this bit, just trying to get some flow going. You pedal. Putting the power in and then nearly going over the bars when it stopped. Don't find out the effects so much on my Kenevo, I have to say. Feels a tougher limit. Obviously this is a very easy trail centre red. Exactly what this bike's designed for, really. It copes absolutely fine. It's so frustrating. It must be great if you live in New Zealand to not have this limiter, because it's even on this trail, I'm just feeling like I'm really hitting a wall. Trying to get any flow, 15 kilometers an hour or whatever it is. Alright, bit of speed hopefully. No. Hit the limiter again. Surely it should disengage better than that when you hit the limiter. Just not give you assistance, but let you pedal a bit easier. Also, this is full 29. Said it's much nicer to ride mullet style, which I prefer on all my bikes, to be fair. Right, another Dalby up. Turn it off I think this one isn't too long. Don't really get along with auto, I have to say, on the DJI. That's certainly how they've got it set up. Don't know if it's standard. Oh, I can't get any speed. Hitting the limiter. Should be able to just disengage the motor, surely. I can't attack this, it's so annoying! Doing like 2/3 of the speed I would normally, if that, maybe half the speed. So it's slower than my analog bike, which is crazy considering obviously the power this thing has and how it's sold. A bit of air for you. I'm sorry I can't go any quicker down here. It will not let me. Bit of rock garden. Wait. So I have got top of the range Fox 38s on the front of my Kenevo and a 24, 25 X2 on the rear, so I'm rather spoilt for suspension, I suppose. And I imagine messing around with this, if it was my own, I could get it working much better, even though it's got limited adjustments. But at the moment, yeah, it's okay, but rock gardens and repeated hits, feels like it is. I'm getting a lot of vibration. Maybe the old 36 is more forgiving. Yeah, I'd have to play with it. I can't write it off on that. Yeah, my biggest takeaway is just how harsh the limiter is for the flight. The fact that you end up going slower than a normal bike, analog bike, with all this power. Oh! Desperately pressing buttons. Doesn't matter what I press. I'm not going to get past that limiter today. Oh, this is the bit I was thinking of. That handle is fine. There seems to be a bit of chain slap at the back. Definitely want to do something with the suspension. Oh. I'll just stop here, no one's behind me. So there's the main Dalby Visitor Centre. bike barns back in Thornton le Dale that way, so I'm going to follow the river, try and sum up my experiences in a minute. Right, there's the Amflow at the end of my ride. Oh, seem to have some of the grass in there as well. I don't know what that is. Right, thoughts. Rear tyre dissector trail version is really as bad as everyone says. Dump that straight away. This is 29.29. I think I'd much prefer it with a 27.5. Hopefully that would knock down the weight a little bit as well. Because yeah, with a Gravity 27.5 and at least an Enduro on the front, you're still looking at least 22 kilos, 22 something probably. No issues with the stem. I know a lot of people had issues with them originally turning. Bike shop were aware of that and they said that's not an issue on these ones, which I totally agree. Amflow system, great. The cut off when you hit the limiter is just unbelievable. Yeah, just so frustrating. You've got all that power, so I'd definitely be looking to see if you can tweak those settings, let's say. Overall, good bike. Not blown away with it, as most people have been. So, sorry, that's just my opinion. I've got my Kenevo pretty dialed with the 38s, factory 38s, and the factory X2 on the back. So I can tweak everything exactly how I want. But yeah, overall, if you haven't got an e-bike, definitely test ride one, because I think for 6,000 with an 800 battery, the powerful motor, swapping the tyre, probably mullet in it if you feel that it doesn't feel quite as nimble as you would have thought. Definitely do that. You can see why it's disrupted the market so much though, because for 6,000 you're looking at a very basic Levo, and that would be more like 26 kilos, so 4 kilos heavier than this. Apparently it rides better, and obviously it has the removable battery out that very thick down tube. But yeah, overall, definitely I'm so glad I paid to get a test ride on one, because I did think it would be noticeably better than what I have. But it's a trail bike. Obviously I've got mine set up for harder stuff, and all I did was really trail. Did try to do off-piste. Did get myself lost a bit, so ended up on the trails. But even on that, it didn't feel more nimble or flickable. And maybe that's down to the 29 on the front. But yeah, interesting. And yeah, Dalby Bike Barn in Thornton le Dale, which is just down there in the corner. They've got one in XL. 75 quid for 2 hours, which I thought was quite steep for just 2 hours, but it was worth scratching an itch that I had. So it makes me ponder about other bikes and whether I should just stick with my Kenevo.